So again, thank you so much for being here. We are very excited to make this announcement today. I'm going to introduce the speakers as they come on stage. First, I would like to introduce to you Monica Johnson. She is the director of the 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline.
Oh, this is going to be cute. I got to hold the paper. Okay. Good morning or good afternoon. Thank you for having us here today. Again, I'm Monica Johnson. I am from SAMHSA, the Substance Abuse Mental Health Services Administration. We are the federal entity that is responsible for administration of the 988 Lifeline. I am the director of the 988 and Behavioral Health Crisis Coordinating Office, and so excited to be in the state of Missouri. This is my first visit to the Show Me State, and y'all are showing out. So thank you for that. This is an amazing setup. I have goosebumps because this is just so incredible, and what we're going to talk about today and what we're focusing on today is just so meaningful to me personally. So with that said, as we commemorate the first anniversary of the 988 Lifeline and mark its success, it's essential to acknowledge the importance of delivering comprehensive crisis care that caters to the diverse needs of all people. Let's take a moment to step back and recognize the progress we've made. It has been remarkable, and it has required a lot of work by a lot of people just like you across the nation. We've saved so many lives, and we're going to save many more thanks to people like you that are in this park today. We have some great partners in this work. SAMHSA cannot do this work alone. Some of those partners are represented here today, including DeafLEAD, Community Crisis Services. Yeah, give it up to them. And they are here with us today to mark 988's milestones as we continue to plan the way ahead. We're highlighting our crisis care implementation efforts at both the state and local levels, and we're seeking input from the deaf and hard of hearing community on how we can best serve their needs. Thank you again, DeafLEAD and CCSI, for all that you and your teams do. Since launching in July 2022, the 988 Lifeline has received more than 5.5 million calls, texts, and chats for people looking for help with thoughts of suicide, mental health crises, or substance use-related crises. Our efforts have significantly improved answer rates and reduced call transfers, expanding access and ensuring quicker aid for those that are in need of help. This success follows a nearly $1 billion investment by the Biden-Harris administration. Much of those funds went directly to those on the front lines. Examples include, like here in Missouri and other states, territories, and tribes, to hire crisis counselors, expand their capacity for crisis service, and improve local response. We have recently launched Spanish text and chat, and that was another important step to ensuring that the Lifeline is accessible to who all need it. As a part of our commitment to making mental health support more accessible and inclusive for all, today we're announcing another important expansion and milestone of the 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline. American Sign Language services are now available for deaf and hard of hearing community at the 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline. This new service will be critical in addressing the diverse mental health needs of those who use American Sign Language as their primary language. To connect directly now with a trained 988 Lifeline counselor in ASL, callers can do a couple of things. They can click the ASL Now button at the 988lifeline.org website, or call the 10-digit number 1-800-273-TALK from their video phone. Direct dialing, however, to 988 from the video phone will be available in the coming weeks, and this is an important milestone for us. In the meantime, ASL callers can continue to access in the ways I just referenced below. Callers can expect to be connected to a trained 988 counselor fluent in ASL via video when they are able to make these connections. This service aims to help ensure that deaf and hard of hearing individuals can access the support they need in their primary language during any type of mental health, substance use crisis, including suicidal thoughts. As the need for more specialized mental health services grow, we will continue to expand the 988 Lifeline to provide proactive and inclusive support to diverse communities. Thank you all for being here today. I look forward to answering some questions, but first, please let me welcome Dr. Tia Dole from Vibrant Emotional Health, Chief 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline Officer. Thank you so much.
Good morning, everybody. Thank you so much for welcoming us here to Missouri. We had probably the most fantastic meal I've had in about 6 months last night at something called a oat barrel something or other. Incredible. I love pork. First of all, I want to actually say thank you to our partners and acknowledge SAMHSA, DeafLEAD, CCSI, and community partners for all of your work, because we are so excited to talk about ASL now being incorporated into 988. And I'll talk a little bit about my role. So I'm the Chief 988 Officer, and I work for Vibrant Emotional Health, and we are also the administrators of 988. Which means that we make sure that it's running, that it's well done, that it has high quality, and that it serves every person who lives in this country who needs help, including the deaf and hard of hearing community. So, yes, thank you. So, one of the things I was thinking about is this. I was talking to Stephanie, who is the CEO of DeafLEAD, and I had asked her recently, I said, how can I describe why this is so important? And what she said to me is people need to be served in their own language. People shouldn't have to chat and text. That is English. ASL is not English. It is our own language. And people need to be able to receive culturally appropriate care in the language of their choice when they are in crisis. And I said, can I steal those words from you? And she said, yes, so thank you. So what we're so excited to talk about, is that we at 988 are providing hope, right? We are tearing down a barrier of communication so that folks who are deaf and hard of hearing can use our services. 15% of Americans struggle with their hearing, and folks don't like to talk about it. And so what we want people to know is that we're here for you, right? If you are feeling lonely, if you're feeling isolated, and feel that there is a barrier to accessible support, we at 988 are here to help, no matter what. So one thing about 988 is that we have 215 crisis centers across the country, and we offer support 24/7. So it's important folks can know that they can reach out to us at any time. And as Monica said, we've received 5.5 million calls, and with this launch, it's our hope that more people will reach out to us. And what people always say at the end of any conversation is, what do you need to know about 988? And this is what I say to people. If you are struggling and thinking about calling us or reaching out to us, do it. Don't wait for it to get worse. You don't have to question whether or not it's bad enough to reach out. And specifically to our partners, thank you again for hosting us. We have a real bold vision for our future, is that everybody standing here can receive culturally competent care in the language of their choice that they feel is meaningful and helpful, and that they can leave conversations with us with a sense of purpose, hope, and support. So, thank you to our partners, to everyone here today, and no matter where you live or what your circumstances, you have access to mental health services. Thank you.
Thank you, Tia. I would now like to introduce Nora Bach, the Director of Behavioral Health with the Missouri Department of Mental Health.
Good morning. I think it's still morning. Yes. This is so cool to be here in Central Missouri, and I'm from Central Missouri, so I'm very glad that we're here on this campus. I do want to have a shout out to DeafLEAD. I've worked at the department for 22 years, and DeafLEAD has been a constant partner with us. And this level of innovation that's stretching across the nation is something to really be proud of. So I so appreciate that you are making this service more accessible to those who are in need. Today is a celebration, and I absolutely want to hold on to that, but I want to remind you why 988 is so important. In Missouri, in 2021, there were a total number of suicide deaths of 1,177 folks took their lives. The next year, in 2022, there were almost 2,200 overdose deaths in Missouri, and probably the majority of those were not intentional. It's becoming pretty common to have depression and anxious symptoms. A Kaiser Family Foundation survey found that for Missourians, 34.3% of adults reported symptoms of anxiety and or depressive disorder. 28% reported needing services and didn't get it. So 988 is a 3-digit number for anyone facing mental health, suicide, or substance use crisis, or if you are concerned about someone else. It's called a suicide and crisis lifeline, but crisis means different things to different people. And as the prior speaker indicated, you don't have to wait for it to get bad enough. If it's a crisis for you, it's a crisis and you should seek help. So if you are concerned about someone else who is in distress, or you are concerned about substance use, or self-harm, or even any thoughts that are upsetting to you, please engage with 988. There are 7 988 call centers in Missouri, including the chat and text with DeafLEAD, and they're answering calls, texts, and chats 24/7, and they have trained crisis specialists there to assist you. What's really important in Missouri right now with this highlight of 988 is that we've worked really hard the last several years to build out the whole crisis continuum. So it's not just calling and leaving it there. We are developing a lot of crisis supports within our system. And for us, that includes community behavioral health liaisons. We have those that serve adults and youth, and they help our law enforcement, because as we know, law enforcement sometimes gets involved in crisis situations, and they don't really need to be. So we try to help get folks the help they need, the right time, the right place first. And just to give you a sense of the need of that, in fiscal year 23, there were 22,761 referrals to our adult CBHLs. And the new youth behavioral health liaisons, we just had 4,185 referrals, and that wasn't even within a complete year. We have established a statewide coordination with crisis intervention teams. Those are specially trained law enforcement officers who can assist in behavioral health crises. And we have established 18 behavioral health crisis centers across the state where more than 24,000 people got services last year. So 988 is someone to call. We now have mobile crisis response that has been enhanced statewide, so there's someone to respond. And behavioral health crisis centers are somewhere to go. I do want to let you know that Missouri did answer more than 51,000 calls last year, responded to 6,200 texts, and 8,100 chats. And we have been in the top 10 of those states who have implemented 988 with one of the highest in-state response rates. And what I mean when I say in-state response rates, it means that someone in the state that you're calling from is actually the one that's going to pick up the phone. So they are much more familiar with the resources that are going to be needed. Our success with 988 can be attributed to the substantial investment and unwavering support from our governor and the General Assembly, as well as the amazing work of my staff and our community behavioral health centers. And I would be remiss if I didn't shout out today. I need to. Casey Muckler and Christine Smith. They have made this happen. And they have been working so incredibly hard for the last year to make this a reality. And I'm so, so proud of you. So I appreciate you for representing a DMH so well. The work does continue. We're not done. We're going to have to take these things to scale over time. but I want you to walk away with a very clear message of hope. Help is available. And to use my boss's quote, Val Hune, she said, just give us a chance. Please, if you're in a situation and you're about to make some decisions you can't walk back from, please give us a chance. Please contact 988 and get compassionate support and the services that you need. Thank you.
Thank you, Nora. I would now like to introduce Saul Romero, Video Phone Crisis Lines Operation Manager for DeafLEAD.
Hello, everyone. Again, my name is Saul Romero. Can we get the microphone on? Testing, 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 mic check. Testing, testing, testing. So hello again, my name is Saul Romero. I'm very happy to be here. Thank you everyone for the very warm welcome to Missouri. I am actually from Tucson, Arizona, and I am the operations manager for DeafLEAD. I'm very happy to be here. This is a very astounding moment for us in history. DeafLEAD actually partnered with 988 Suicide Prevention Lifeline, and we are extremely proud to celebrate the 1-year anniversary milestone in collaboration with them. And on this anniversary of a transformative shift in the fight against suicide prevention, the transition from a 10-digit number to a streamlined, easy-to-remember 3-digit number, 988, has made a significant impact on crisis response and support for those callers and individuals in need. Since 988 Suicide Lifeline was established, there has been a beacon of hope for countless individuals facing emotional turmoil and crisis. This milestone celebration not only marks a year of success, but also heralds an exciting new development within the realm of 988. The launch of the 988 video phone, which is an extremely groundbreaking initiative, even within DeafLEAD agency, does provide deaf individuals with that direct access to suicide prevention services. Also with 988, it does break down barriers for deaf individuals who are experiencing stress and times of crises within their lives. Deaf individuals typically struggle within access and have several communication barriers, and this can include a lack of information and communication. So this is amazing in the fact that it is finally truly inclusive for deaf people and the deaf community as a whole. So within DeafLEAD, we are truly honored to collaborate with the 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline as one of 2 centers within the nation to provide access for individuals looking for help and support during crisis. Again, this is a profound commitment to inclusivity and access for the deaf community. So again, this is a new day for the deaf community, and we are so much closer to true equity and equality by having this 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline within the Videophone Department. And thank you to the Department of Mental Health and the State of Missouri Department of Mental Health Division of Behavioral Health as well for your efforts in supporting, uplifting, and recognizing the need for full access and equality for the deaf community. So as we reflect back on the past year and the achievements that we have had, we look forward very much to the future. DeafLEAD and the 988 Suicide Prevention Lifeline invite you to join us in celebrating this significant milestone. Together we can make a difference in the lives of those who need it most. Thank you.
Thank you so all, I'd now like to introduce Michelle Williams, Chief Operating Officer of Community Crisis Services, Inc.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for inviting us to be here. We are so pleased, on behalf of our CEO, Tim Jansen, to be engaged in this endeavor and to bring 988 video phone services to all of our deaf and hard of hearing folks all across the nation. So I want to tell you a little bit about Community Crisis Services. We've been delivering crisis services for over 50 years. We are so pleased to, as of last year, become a 988 national and backup center. We provide services by phone, chat, and text, and now video phone. I also do want to thank my colleague, Anastasia Robleski, who's here, who will be our video phone director. And I want to thank our partners, Vibrant, SAMHSA, DeafLEAD, who we're all going into this endeavor together. We appreciate you all, and thank you so much.
Thank you, Michelle. We think the video is ready to play. We're going to play the short video, and then we will invite the members of the press who want to ask any questions to just ask your questions, and the panel's going to stay here and come up.
My whole work here is to break down the barriers that are out there for the deaf community. ASL is not English, and the expectation is that all deaf people understand full sentence English grammar writing. And ASL is a separate language, so we need accessibility established for people that are using ASL as their language. And so for 988, that is very important. Our video phone platform provides a two-way direct communication method. What that means is like the crisis counselor is a fluent sign trainer. They're able to provide that emotional support and care directly to the person that they're communicating with in their language that they prefer to use on the other end. They're visibly able to see each other. Crisis care, to me, is communication. That is where everything starts.
Anyone can text 988 or reach out to 988 chat and text. The thing that makes it really special and unique is that it's a situation where we have deaf crisis counselors who are providing services to hearing folks, and two, providing employment opportunities to deaf folks in a field that habitually has been gatekept.
When we think about equitable services, right? We think, oh, access for everyone. And that's not the case. We need equity, right? So the 988 video phone is a recognition and a demonstration of that, providing the resources for equity for the deaf community. I'm not saying that the VP is for every deaf person, because it's not. But it is providing an option for people to choose from, and it's not leaving anybody behind. We want to make sure that every community, every minority, everyone in general, human, period, is getting what they need. From a deaf person to another deaf person, regardless of if you sign or if you speak, whatever method of communication you prefer, if you are going through a crisis, I want you to know that in this process, there are resources growing and being made accessible for you. You are worth it. Keep fighting. 988 video phone is here. Come on, bring it on. Use the services. We are so thrilled and excited.
Right, thank you. If there are any reporters with questions, I just ask that you raise your hand, state your name and outlet. If you have a question you want to direct to a specific individual, shout that out, or just give it to the panel, and we'll get somebody up here to answer. So I think here on the right, channel 17, I saw your hand first.
How's it going? Journey Morris, ABC 17 News.
Thank you.
I just wanted to know what is next for 988 after doing such an incredible thing today.
Great. Monica, you want to take that one?
Thank you. Thank you for the question. What is next for 988 is we want to continue to make sure that every person that lives in a United States state, a territory, a tribe, knows that this service exists. And so the more we can be in spaces where we can talk about this, where we can tell a friend, we can tell a family member, you may end up being in a position where you're saving somebody's life. You may be the lifesaver. So as it was referenced earlier today, even if it's not you that is experiencing any type of crisis, somebody that you know will. And so I think the more we can get the word out, so that's important to us to continue with that. To continue to make sure, like what you saw today, that we're making sure that these services are accessible and equitable for everyone. And so that's our goal, and we continue to strive towards that. And ultimately, our big mission is to transform the way we do behavioral health crisis in this country.
Thanks for that question. Next question. I'm not seeing any. You want to go again? Go again.
ABC 17, Journey Morris once again. My next question again was, I heard that you said we're at top 10 in response time, if I'm not mistaken. Is there any more statistics that you could give us?
Yeah, Nora, do you want to take that?
I am so glad you want to know more about this. It's awesome. Let me see what I have on the sheet, but we can follow up directly with you about the statistics. Let me look at ours. So since the latest numbers have shown that our in-state answer rate was 95%, and I told you what that means, that 95% of all the calls get connected to a local crisis specialist, I do want to add that the national expectation right now is a minimum of 90, so we're above that. We have also been in the top 10 for average speed to answer, so the time it takes for somebody to pick up the phone. We don't like people hanging on too long. And if there are additional statistics, we're going to ask that either Casey or Christine make sure to connect with you and send you the Missouri-specific data. Would that work?
Yes, that would.
Okay, great, thanks.
All right, you want a third question, Channel 17? Oh, you do? Okay, great. I love it.
ABC 17, Journey Morris. So, today was a beautiful day. What's something that viewers that wasn't here can hear to remember the day? If you mind if I ask? Today was a beautiful day. What's something that the viewers at home can hear or see to remember the day?
Wow, okay, so I guess I just want to clarify something that, something that they could see or something that they could hear today, maybe in a commemorative way to look back on the event, since it's, like I mentioned, a historical moment, that it's so groundbreaking, and really it's just, the partnership and the innovation and the collaboration and just all of the different pieces together. Like I said, it's just such a historical moment for the deaf community, having struggled for so long with access, especially in the mental health field. There are deaf therapists, but it's so important to note that with the licensure requirements for therapists, If you have a hearing therapist, you have to think about getting interpreters to work with deaf clients. There's just so many layers of accessibility struggles that the deaf community has gone through. So it's important to take note of that we have barriers on top of barriers. And with this work, we are starting to break those down. And that's why I said this is making history. It really is. It truly is historical. Thank you.
And I want to add to that as well. I'm so glad you said today is a beautiful day, because it absolutely is. And for me, in addition to what Saul so eloquently stated, we're talking about mental health in a way that we have not historically talked about. And so having these conversations in a beautiful park on a beautiful day really sets the stage for reducing stigma that is associated with when we talk about suicide, when we talk about mental health, when we talk about substance use. The stigma that goes with that keeps people from getting the help and the support that they need. When I say people, I'm not talking about a group of people over here. I'm not talking about people down the street. I'm talking about us. It's all of us. And so the more we can normalize these conversations, the better we are all for it. And that is how we change the way we do behavioral health crisis and access to these services across this country.
I gotta get 2 cents in. What I would love your viewers to do when they see this tonight is I want all the parents to contact their schools and ask if they have 988 information in their schools. So youth, certainly. I don't know if any of you are sports folks, but you go to the restrooms and the back of the door, they got all the newsletters. I would love to see 988 on all of that. Parents, please ask your children if they know about 988. If they don't, please tell them. It is so important that our youth get this information. I sent my college kid with Narcan, and I sent her with 988 stuff, and she probably thinks I'm not cool, but I don't care. And as a parent, I have called 988 on behalf of other kids that I was worried about. So please know you can do that too. Do not be alone with this fear, and take the concern seriously, please. So use it, and please ask your schools if they know about it. And if they don't know about it, tell them to contact the Department of Mental Health, please.
Well, that concludes the press conference portion. Thank you all so much for coming, but please stick around. We're going to take a quick break, and then we're going to have some performances and activities. I'm sorry. We're just not having any luck with the technology today. But please stick around. Please enjoy the activities and all the events that are going on today. There's a mural being painted behind you. We've got some great resource tables. Please enjoy and stick around. Thank you so much.
I think it's like, I only have like 4 slides to cover that.
Well, I mean, yeah, even later when you get into